page 2 of C Programming Notes, and this is section 2, and we're going to talk about structs and unions. So you probably didn't use these in your C++ programming, you probably just use classes. So in C, there are only a couple of aggregate data types, so types that combine multiple elements together. Unions is not one of them, so see if you can think what groups things together in C. So I've already given you one of them, it's structs. So the only aggregate data types in C are structs, and what else groups stuff together? And arrays. So there are no classes. C doesn't have class. Okay, so a struct is pretty much the precursor to C++ classes. But they're a little bit different. There are two things that make them not classes. Number one, there are no methods, so they only have data members or fields. So there are no methods or functions. And the other thing is that we don't have the access modifiers like private, protected, and public. Everything is public by default. So all data members, or they're usually called fields, are public. And if that's the case, you don't need words like protected and private and so on. So they're not keywords in C. Okay, now we're going to see this a bit later, but C compilers have flexibility in how they store a struct. So they can add spaces in the struct that you can't access through the struct fields, and that's called padding. And this goes back to the section on the computer systems. If you remember, we talked about things having to be naturally aligned, and so if you have a struct with, say, for example, a byte at the start followed by a say a 32-bit integer, it might add 3 bytes of padding after that first byte so that the integer starts at an address that's a multiple of 4. So I'll show you this to you after. So padding may, but not necessarily, depends on the compiler, it depends on the processor, may be used to naturally align member or field addresses. And now I'm going to show you a program, and these pages 2, 3, and 4 could really just fit on 2 pages, but I don't want to split the program across 2 pages, so I'm going to end this page right here.